Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make this cute little lipstick slash chapstick slash whatever you want to do with it kind of holder. It's really cute. It's got multiple sections here and here, and then it's got this big nice open spot here. I did make one already before, and I'm not completely done yet with it, but because I'm gonna add some, embellishments to it, but it turned out absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I absolutely love this. And I'm actually thinking about making one or two more like this, like just like this, because I have a feeling they're gonna go quick. And if you've seen my shorts, then you probably already seen this. But I just wanted to kind of show you what it looks like when it's done, like the open compartments here and these smaller ones and these back two bigger ones here. And for this one, I'm going to do some dried rose petals that we're going to throw in some resin with some gold foil. And we're going to do that. And then I'm also going to put a tiny little bit of the gold floating glitter that I ordered. And we're going to just put a tiny little bit of that in. Just enough to kind of give it a little sparkle throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting my resin mixed up. I got my resin gonna start mixing it in with the Resiner's Doll Head, and I just realized, you guys, that this thing is rechargeable, that you do not have to keep it plugged in all the time. So that was a big surprise to me. Anyhow, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get my resin mixed up, we're gonna come back and we are gonna get this cute little box poured. Alright, I'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, so my resin's mixed up. I added a little tiny smidget, and I mean a smidget, of that gold floating glitter. And that stuff is so amazing. Now, the more you put in of it, okay, the more like opaque, your resin's going to become from putting it in there. It's going to get, a little less clear. Like, this is clear and it has a ton of it in there. It's kind of like the crushed crystal, okay? But the only difference is this stuff is the floating glitter, and it actually does work. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really glad that I ended up buying 2 packs of that stuff by accident. It should last me forever. As much as I should say as little as you have to use for this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my foil flake here so I can start getting it mixed into my resin and start getting it broke up in there. I'm going to put a decent amount in, but not like, a crazy amount. Let's start out with like 3 sheets first. And then we'll just kind of gauge it from there and see how it looks. And then we'll add in our dried roses. After this little project here, I'm going to start working on a makeup brush holder. And I know that the makeup brush holder thing is probably about killed out by now, because everybody's doing it and doing it over and over. But with us having those craft fairs and shows and stuff coming up, and with the fact that my daughter does do, nails and cosmetic line stuff, I do want to make sure that I have some of these lip gloss holders and makeup brush holders and stuff like that to sell along in with her line of stuff. But I'm going to do one that's like with clear resin, maybe a little bit of the floating glitter or some kind of like Aurora powder or something, just to give it a little bit of something. And then I'm going to do some dried flowers in it, and I'm really excited about doing that. never tried that before. Also, if you're using the Resiner's dual head mixer or thinking about getting one or whatever, if you're mixing your resin with that mixer or any mixer, you want to make sure that you scrape your sides down really good and go ahead and give it a little mix after, because it does not scrape your sides down. So you want to scrape your sides down really good and just kind of give it another little mix, so that way you ensure that your resin's mixed really good. And that looks pretty good as far as the gold flake in there, you guys. Look how pretty that is. I prefer using the sheets of the flake over the stuff that's already kind of broken up, because it does look so much nicer. I don't know if it's better, if this stuff is better quality than the flakes in the jar or what the deal is, but it really does make a difference in the end, which foils you're using and stuff like that. So okay, let's throw some of these rose petal pieces in here. These are rose petals that I actually dried myself and cut up myself. Actually, I think they were probably roses that my daughter had bought me for my birthday or something. And then I always let them die and dry out. I absolutely love the dried out dead rose buds. They are just so beautiful. Alright, you guys. That's looking really pretty. There is going to be some bigger chunks in there. And that's fine. We'll just make sure we, squidgy wedgy and make sure everything's in there really good. I just want to make sure I have enough in there that the rose petals ain't all going to fall to one spot and then you're going to have nothing in other spots. Let's just give this a little rip up here. I really should set a day that I just need to kind of have a chill day, a relaxed day, and sit and go through those and get them cut up, better, smaller. But you know how it is, guys. It's one of them things that you just kind of never get to. You want to get to it, but you never get to it. Alright, you guys, that's looking pretty good. It's not like all thinned out. There's quite a bit in there, so I think it's gonna be halfway decently evened out once it's poured. I thought about putting a little bit of glue in to kind of ensure that it would not all just sink, but then I thought about it, and with them being such tight little spaces in between there, I don't know. I'm sure it would be fine, but I just rather not risk it myself. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting this poured down in here. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a light spray with some alcohol real quick. just to make sure that we can get some alcohol down in the bottom there to kind of prevent some bubbles that are going to show up on the top. Yeah, see, some of these rose pieces are bigger chunks, so they're not just gonna flow down in there completely easy for you, so you might have to shove it down in there a little bit. We're just gonna stuff this down in there a little bit here and there. Try to get a little bit of the rose petals everywhere down in the sides and in between some of the cracks here. I really like using the gold sheets instead of the pre-cut stuff that's in the bottles. It is a lot prettier. And it's okay to use, I use it in some stuff, but for stuff that like this that you want a little bit more like I don't want to say prettier because that's not what I'm trying to say, but elegant maybe is the word I'm looking for. These sheets just work so much nicer. It gives you that look a little bit more. And then to top this off, we're going to try to make sure we get some rose pieces on this bottom, but we don't want like big chunks because we want to make sure that it's not going to be all lumpy whenever it's cured, you guys. So, oh, my little moth friend's back to bother me. So, I got quite a bit of rose pieces in there on the bottom now. I'm just trying to scoop some of the resin instead of the rose pieces. There we go, guys. I hope this is gonna turn out pretty. Now, I was thinking about putting a little itty bitty bit of that dark, like the red rose pigment powder, or like a dark red, like maroony red ink in here to color, just to give it a little tint. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, you know what? I just want to leave it as natural looking as I can. I think that's going to be the more elegant, like beautiful part of it, rather than just adding the tint and color to it. Alright, you guys, that is all filled up, and we are going to go ahead and go pop it in the Resiners curing machine, and in 2 hours we will be back to demold and see what we got. Alright, so I will see you guys in a little bit whenever we come back and check out how pretty this thing turns out. Might give it a little, squidgy wedgies here and there, as Daniel says, just to ensure that everything's down in there good, and give it a little tap taps and shakes and but that's about the gist of it, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this in the curing machine, and I will be back in 2 hours to demold. All right, see you in a little bit. Bye, guys. Hey guys, so 2 hours in the resin earth curing machine, and it's done. It is still really soft, but let's get it out and get a look at it, okay? I am kind of excited to see what this is gonna look like. I mean, you can't never really go wrong with roses and gold, right? Yeah, it's still like really soft. So we are just going to demold this very gently. Take our time. Should I have let it in a little longer, or let it sit out a little longer? Absolutely. Did I have the patience for that? Absolutely not. It's so amazing to even have that, and I am so thankful to Marcy for gifting that to me, because that other resin curing machine that I had, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. It warped everything because the shelves in it that you put the stuff on to cure your pieces they're plasticky and junky, and your stuff would just warp, and just it was terrible. Anyhow, and not only that, but you can't really put anything in there bigger than a coaster, because you only have a little tiny bit of space, you know what I mean? So I couldn't really do a lot of my molds in it, and so it's really cool to have the other one now, because I can do all kinds of stuff in there, and I'm just not used to it yet. And by the time I was getting one project done over here, another one was finished and cured in the machine. So I was like, hey, this is awesome, because now I can put the next one in to cure and start the next one. Definitely loving it. Getting stuff done for sure. Alright, let's take a look at this, you guys. Yeah, it's still extremely soft. But, oh my gosh, is it pretty, you guys. Do you see what I mean about the sheets of gold foil compared to like this kind of foil that you get in a bottle? This stuff is not the same as the sheets of gold leaf, because look how beautiful the gold leaf is in here compared to if I would have used that other stuff. It would have not turned out like that. And this is absolutely beautiful the way it turned out. I love this. I definitely think this is gonna sell 100%. Yeah. It's probably too much gold foil. You know what I mean? But I like it. I think it adds something to it, you know? And there's no bubbles or anything. Like, everything's fine. Looks great. Looks amazing. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it to embellish it if I do. Because, I mean, it's pretty stinking beautiful by itself the way it is. That's what I mean. I don't really know, you know, what I would add to it to embellish it at all. The only thing I could think of is maybe, you know, take some gold around and make this solid gold color with my metallic markers the whole way around the rim. That's the only thing that I'm thinking I might do, but I'm not sure. I'll have a think on it. And then, you know, I might decide to, I might not. Just depends. I might put it on and not like it and wipe it off. So, it might be one of those situations too. But yeah, I'm going to go set it on my table so that way it has a nice flat place to sit and cure up the rest of the way. And, yeah, I'm absolutely loving this. Absolutely loving that. And then I made the perfume bottle with the leftover. So, there'll be like a little perfume bottle to go with it as well. But I think I'm going to have to remake the lid because the corner didn't turn out right. This corner here didn't, as you can see, it's like cut off somehow. So yeah, that's probably gonna have to go in the trash, and I'll just make a new lid for it. It's just a little bit of clear with some of that floating silver glitter in it, so it's not really that big of a deal, and it takes like a drop of resin to do because it's so small. But yeah, there's a little perfume bottle that will go with it. So I think that's a cute little set. I think somebody's really gonna like this, especially if I add that gold lining around the top here and fix the lid for this, and then do some gold trimming on this. Maybe add a couple little gold rhinestones to the top of the lid around or something, you know. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for stopping by. Can't wait till we get into the next mess. You guys ready? Alright, so hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And leave me a comment down below. And let me know, what do you think of this make? How would you change it if you would? Give me some ideas. I'm always open to some ideas and some opinions. So, yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video, all right? Okay, I love you guys so much. Bye!